You know what time it is? It's time for the good news, the bad news, and the other shit. That's right. And today, it's going to be a wonderful mix. The good news, the bad news, and the other shit. Hey. All right, you guys. Good news, bad news, other shit. It is Conspiracy Wednesday. And you know what Conspiracy Wednesday means, that we deal with conspiracy.
Oh, boy.
But we really had to, like I said, we had to stop and spend a moment to send our love, our blessings, our support out to the family of Dwight Arrington Myers, otherwise known as Heavy D.
Yeah, man. Whew. Man, what can you say? I mean, the first thing I was thinking about, can we show footage? You know what happened. As soon as I said that, I said, can't show it, man.
Almost anything we want to show, they get us for copyright. But I'm looking over the number of people. Sinbad, always say it is a sad day today. My younger yellow brother from another mother.
Yep.
Isn't that something? Heavy D passed away today. I love that brother. Yeah. He was a good man. Jill Scott says, "Oh, my heart aches. In shock. Can't believe Heavy D is gone. Such a positive, sweet-hearted man. Please pray for his daughter." Missy Elliott.
Yep.
"You will be missed, Heavy D. So many laughs we shared, but your music is timeless and will always be around forever. Love you, Heavy." Got to read these Twitter writings.
Yeah.
Keisha Cole. "When I met Heavy D, he said, 'Believe you have a good soul. Sing with always having something to say.'" Big Boy says, "Rest in peace, Heavy D. A true pioneer. May God bless your soul."
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man. The good thing about it is, a lot of us don't connect a current artist the artist is still a legacy artist with Heavy D because he was an icon himself, and that's Mary J. Blige. She came out of that Uptown. What was that? Uptown.
Can you imagine? Yeah. We like to think that's one of my dreams. When you have a group of friends and everything hits like that, here you have Christopher Williams, Mary J. Blige, Sean Puffy Combs, Heavy D,
all
Keith Sweat,
all coming out of there.
Lil Kim.
It's like
damn near everybody around that whole group, just who was around them.
Right.
And I mean, not just there was the ones who were on the label, but if you talk about the people in the neighborhood, like MC Light.
Yes.
All the other folks just in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what the energy was like. And we love to dream that maybe one day with our associates, the ones that we know here at Paxtail TV, we dream of seeing them with those same kinds of opportunities.
That message, dude, Mark, you know what the message is, man. It's simple. You guys, stop trying to be the big artist by yourself. Strengthen numbers, baby. Strengthen numbers. If you sit there and look at that whole cachet of talent, you notice they all could be individual, but they empowered one another by coming together collectively. And we're trying to look at the same thing the same way. So, hopefully we can see the same rewards. Maybe not through us, by us, but for you. Let's see if we can do this, man.
Well, so we wanted to take that moment out. We too touch.
Yeah.
Just such a trip. I think that's one of the things that gets to you sometimes. That part of the issue of living a long life is you do have to endure.
Yeah.
Watching everybody else go.
And understand that you should try to have a lot more internal laughter and personal satisfaction, because you can get on this hard trail, man, and be just taking it for granted. Not a moment, no matter what your struggle is, always think above that you are blessed to recognize that you're in a struggling moment. And sometimes people are taken away real quickly, man. But if you live long enough, it is a blessing in the end.
All right. Well, I'm getting some stuff together here for you guys. Okay, we got to talk about the first things first. Herman Cain. Wow, you guys. Wow. First, I'm trying to think what to say.
It's a conspiracy.
What got me? What got me is that he starts his talk. He makes a big thing about this press conference at 5 o'clock. We even talked about it yesterday. So here we are at 5 o'clock. I'm here. Because that's really 2 o'clock our time.
Correct.
So I'm still packaging videos. It takes me about 2.5 hours after the show to finish it up. So here he says, oh, yeah. He starts out his speech saying, well, this time, in order to make sure I covered all the points, I brought notes. And then he proceeded to say the same old shit. And I was like, 10 minutes in, I said, you going to your notes yet? Because you still haven't said one damn thing.
But that's his notes.
And he said, well, I brought my notes in order to address all the concerns. In order to address all the concerns. I'm prepared. And then he came out and didn't say not one damn thing different. Came out and said he did not even know the woman. So you harass so many you forget. I don't know, but the last one, see what happens is the people, I don't know if you all saw the last lady that came out. She basically said, I had no beef. I was quiet at home. I really wanted to stay out of this. I don't make any money for this. I just got tired of watching him stand up there and say that nothing had happened, that it was just ticking me off so bad that I had to come out and say something.
So really, and it's a good point you're referring to. So there's some cases that women will be pulled in, not because they volunteered themselves. It's because the nature of the position of somebody who's going into politics. So a lot of times there's some hateration going down because they say, look at her, she's an opportunist. And I'm saying, okay, be that as it may, you can absolutely refuse, right? You could say no. Or is it, I know you have no choice, right? Is that what this is about?
Well, no. What you mean about running or about what?
No, I mean the person saying, hey, I got tired. I'm sitting up here.
So she feels like attacking his candidacy.
I'm just saying.
You know what? It's just like if you had an old girlfriend running for office, she was talking about how wonderful she was.
Right.
And you just thought she was the worst bitch in the world. After a while, you would be like, I can't take this.
I know. You want to say something,
You got to say something. And I think that's where the people are going. They are sick of him. He keeps talking. I never have, and I don't even know this woman. Well, we kind of heard that one before. That's like Bill Clinton. He said, I did not have sexual relations with this woman.
I
just dipped my cigar.
I'm not saying nothing. You know what?
Because when you go to McDonald's, you get those McNuggets. They always make you choose like one type of sauce. And sometimes you need some extra sauce.
But you're wrong, man. You're wrong. So are we in agreement that there was some harassment? I mean, is that just like yes?
I mean, I don't know. There are at least people out there saying he harassed them,
right? And it's yet to be proven.
And after he challenged them for being, for being anonymous, they decided to not be anonymous. Okay, well, if you challenge me, here I am, you. Could you, ladies and gentlemen, could you please point out the man who harassed you? You. Right. Who in this room harassed you right there?
I want to ask a question. Now, I've missed some of this because I believe when it's years like this and years go by, opportunity begets the opportunity. And a lot of times I know people go on the other side. When you don't like to hear somebody talking, you know the word I'm talking about, we tune out or go away. We have friends, business associates. You've been around people brag, hyperventilate over exaggeration. You go, okay, I'm tired. Let me go away. Right. The idea that you feel forced to say, I just watched this and I had to say something. No, you didn't. Now I'm covering both sides. You didn't have to say anything.
Oh, no, but I think it shows you how sick they are.
No.
In other words, they don't have to. But what if you just find him sickening?
Yeah, but don't find him.
But I agree.
Don't find him.
But what if they do?
But what if they don't?
Well, if they don't, they won't speak out.
See, that's what I'm hoping.
In other words, I think that's what's happening. To me, it looks like he may have harassed more people. The ones who don't care are not speaking out.
See,
I mean, I don't know how you add up.
I agree.
I don't know how you calculate or quantify people who do nothing, because that could be 1,000 or it could be 1,000,000.
And there's documentation of these cases, right? The situation.
Yeah.
So just bring out the documentation. Let it speak for itself.
Well, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
You think they're not bringing out the documentation?
I think they're on the stage of play. I think this is all going. I'm going. If it is a case that can be proven, and they say
4 cases.
Yeah. I'm saying Just bring out the documentation. But I think they're doing this progression. They're going through the stage, episode 1, 2, 3. I said, oh, you guys are getting everybody caught up. If it is, it is. If it ain't, it ain't. It's cut and dry.
Well, I guess it depends on what your goals are.
Yeah.
See, to me, if your goals are to ruin somebody's candidacy, then that's what you do.
Yeah, and we don't know if that's what they're doing. The women.
I think that is their goal.
The women, okay, so
In other words, they're not shocked.
Is.
The lady goes, I think he's a terrible man. He should not be president.
Yeah.
I think we could assume she doesn't want him to be president.
Yes. No, I absolutely think
so they're doing it to the whole point is they're trying to throw rocks into his candidacy.
Right.
And it's not just him. A lot of people want it. And so that's part of the conspiracy too, by the way, because some people are saying that everybody's clearing it all out for Obama.
Yeah, no,
because they want to get rid of the other black man.
See, I go like this. He's bad. I got it. Everybody's already got that. But just because he's bad, I'm gonna go on the other side. I said on the other side, there's this urgency. Like I said, 14 years. Now he was just an entrepreneur, head of a whatever ever organization. You had no inspiration to do anything until he said, "Well, he's going to be political." I said, "Power is power."
Well, yeah, I think, and to me, I go like that's appropriate. So the take-home lesson is, if you have dirt, it'll come out if you run for president. Duh.
That's it.
So yes, and as it should.
Yeah.
Whether it's 14 years ago or 30 years ago.
Right.
The minute you run for president, it's going to come out.
Right. What they're saying is, I will only make it an issue when you run for president. Anything less is not important.
No, well, I mean, what you can't. What would you wouldn't bring it out because there's nothing to do. In other words, if the person's doing nothing,
right,
why would you spend your time and expense to make a controversy?
Well, no, I'm not saying.
Wouldn't you do it if they tried to become a public figure?
No, I'm saying that it's like you said. The women, some women, it's already been reported that they were approached. Not all of them watched and say, "Oh, I saw this, I can't." There are some who said, "I didn't even want to be in the state. I was approached." So I said, "So what's your choice?" They didn't have a mission to go destroy his campaign. I'm not for Herman Cain.
Oh no. But when you make these kinds of statements and things are public record, it makes total expectation sense to me.
You're right.
That when you make a statement like this, they would obviously go to the people who are on public record and ask them their opinion.
Right.
And that's going to occur.
Right.
And whether the people, and they all have different opinions about how much they want to be involved. Most of them really didn't want to.
Right.
But then they're going to use incentives to make you come out.
That's exactly the stage of play I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm not standing behind them. I'm saying you're on the stage of play.
Right.
That's
and
it.
I mean, is that a bad?
If it's Herman Cain or anyone else, it doesn't matter. I just say there are always these motivating factors. I'm not saying they're bad, good, or indifferent. I'm just saying they're on the stage and they've chose to make a decision based on incentives.
Well, yeah. And for some of them, the incentive is just to get rid of
and to get a book tour. I want to see how many of them get the book. See, I'm going.
Maybe, but remember now, see, here again, this is the part that people try to imply about people who have been the victims of these kind of things. They usually are not seeking public.
True.
When you go out in public, too, or when you discuss it, you're usually forced to describe it in rather graphic details.
Yeah.
And most people are not comfortable doing that.
Absolutely.
That's actually the reason why people who are aroused or who... Like this will come up with the whole thing with Penn State. That's why they don't come out public. Because they don't, imagine you're now a 25-year-old guy. You want to go out and explain why you're giving head to Sandusky in the shower?
No. I know.
Whatever he did to you.
Terrible, man.
You really want to go in public and explain how he fondled your penis?
No.
Or how, whatever. So you're not going to want to testify.
Right. No, I agree. I think there's we can't confirm is what in the minds of the women to a fact. We just know what is being presented. That's all I'm saying.
Well, here's the thing, and here's the bad point. Once you have more than one...
it doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good.
It doesn't
See, you
look
can
good.
say denial.
Right.
But once you have like 4 women, and they all now talk about getting together for a combined thing. And here's what's so bad, too, with Herman Cain. They asked him, would you submit to a polygraph?
Nope, he's not.
And he says, I would, but I wouldn't under the wrong situation. I said, you are the most. No wonder your old lady listen to you because you just a smooth old regular old liar.
Dude.
He goes, yeah, I would do a polygraph, but I won't do it unless it's the right situation. I won't let myself. I said, what the? All right, you got me.
Hey, wait.
Well, let's get. Well,
I'm just saying, Mario, they got the answer from this guy when he answered on abortion. I don't have to tell you anymore. Just go listen to his position. And he's okay. That's all I'm going to say.
it's just like when he said he wouldn't appoint a Muslim judge. I played that video back. He actually said it. And I said, at that point, I said, oh, you're a religious bigot who thinks it's a virtue.
I know. And
okay, so you're an idiot.
Yeah. See?
So, I'm back at, you need to go somewhere because now you look like a stupid-ass black man to me. That's what I would call you because I don't have to be polite. I just say, get your old dumb ass, get off the scene. See, but no, other people have to watch what they say.
I know.
Well, here's what let's see what our viewers have to say.
Oh, boy.
First off, Rick Perry. Rick Perry is obviously not ready for prime time. I don't think he's going to last the campaign. He made couple speeches last week, one specifically in New Hampshire, where he was slurring and just talking crazy out of his head. He appeared to be drunk. I don't know. He just looked totally out of it. His campaign manager says he wasn't drunk. Says he was with him prior to the speech.
It was that
He
cocaine.
was not drinking. Rick Perry, if you weren't drinking, you got some serious issues.
It was a cold medicine.
There's no explanation for that speech in New Hampshire.
It was
And the way you looked at that bottle of syrup like a little kid getting a Christmas present, it was just creepy. It was just really creepy.
Y'all saw that.
And, people need to go back online and check out that speech and just to know what I'm talking about. So I don't think he's ready for prime time. I think he's a little slightly off center.
All right, let's kind of take that. Though you did see that.
Yeah.
Rick Perry is, by the way, the one who people say is behind the attacks on Herman Cain. That he's part of the group orchestrating those attacks.
He needs help after that last whatever
I
that
saw
was.
the video too. That was ridiculous.
That was terrible, man.
But here's what's kind of amazing to me. Notice how they don't show it very often on mainstream media?
No. That tells you something, don't it?
I bet if he was black, he'd be on every 15 minutes.
What does it tell you?
If it was Herman Cain drunk,
right,
you would be seeing it over, every tweet, everything. Well, let's see what else PMC had to say.
I got you, man.
He's just not ready for this stage. The next person I want to talk about is Ann Coulter. In the comments,
why?
Our blacks are better than their blacks. Ann Coulter, what were you
She's
thinking?
such a bitch.
I know.
What
She works it, though. She works being a bitch.
The shock value, but I mean, come on.
She does it on
That's
purpose,
just
PMC.
Crazy talk. I mean, our blacks are better than their blacks. I don't know. I thought we was free. I thought I was free. I guess we ain't free yet.
No.
I guess we not free. Me and Toby were thinking about running to Canada tomorrow. But I don't think it's a good idea now that Missy Annie got her posse out running, looking for her blacks.
Everybody's got to find theirs.
I guess we's not free. We better just
Hold-y do.
chill out and go back to the fields. And finally, Brother Herman Cain. It's not getting any better. It's spiraling out of control. Stop the bleeding, Herman. Stop the bleeding. The women are coming out of the woodwork. It's not getting any better. The Restaurant Association has finally admitted that they paid a claim in 1999. There may not have been an admission of guilt, but if you pay a claim and you pay the person to basically go away and there's a non-disclosure clause, something went down. American people aren't stupid.
Well,
Stop the lying. Stop comparing yourself to Clarence Thomas, because you ain't no Clarence Thomas. But, and the three women that are have made accusations against you, they don't want to come out and talk. They don't want to be compared to Anita Hill. And it's going to come out.
And they still got to work out there in that environment.
With the media. They don't really want that. And it's just, it's time to step down. It's time to, get off the island. Sometimes this Republican debates and the Republican field looks like a reality show. Well, you're about to get voted off the island, man. And maybe you should just walk and just step right now. Because it ain't getting any better. So please stop the bleeding, Herman, and just step. And this comment you made yesterday about you finally admitted that you were being supported by the Koch brothers. People that pay attention to the news already knew that, but you finally admitted it. And the way you admitted it was
that's KOCH, by the way.
For you, I'm the Koch brothers' brother from another mother. Well, brother man, it's time to go back to the planet where you came from and just call it a day. Take it from this brother. It's time for ET to go home. So just call it and pack it in, because you're obviously not ready for prime time either.
All right there. Political commentary. Thank you.
All right,
PMC,
man.
everybody.
All right.
So, hey,
right.
But what if it's on purpose, you guys? That's what we're saying.
I have a recommendation for that. I want PMC to kind of inhale and ask Ann Coulter out for a date. I think she'll clarify herself with you, man. Just let Ann kind of let it all flow.
She would hate us because we go like, she keeps talking and you reach for your zipper. She keeps like 3 minutes of silence. If I could just get that 3 minutes of silence.
She has a wonderful as soon as you see that picture come and that face, that stoic look she has, I said, she's about to bring the rain. She can't help it. Can't help it.
Man, you want to now you know why divorce exists.
Oh, now don't
you imagine waking up to that. Lord, that'll make you go to work early.
Yeah, and PMC, if it's true that Jimmy Walker is supposedly hitting it, that maybe give you all the reasons why you should have a softer stance on the position you have with Ann Coulter.
Oh Lord, Jimmy Walker. I saw him. He MCs. He would MC some of the oldies but goodies shows.
Right.
So I've seen him not too long ago.
He's
doing the same jokes. All right, you guys. Part of the whole conspiracy, we talked about the Herman Cain conspiracy, and the conspiracy being, is this an attempt to sabotage the Republican candidates to make way for the president? And are the forces that be behind his reelection?
right.
Because some folks say that means something and other folks don't. But it did mean something to us back in the Clinton times.
True.
When it was kind of acknowledged by the people who were out there watching things, going, hey, the money's behind him.
Yeah.
And so when the money's behind you, who is the money?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about this, because a lot of folks don't have the money. Now they're saying 7% of Americans live below the poverty line. Now, and I'm sure it's more, but they're saying 20.5 million Americans qualify as being among the poorest of the poor. That says, now what does that mean? That means you have an annual income of less than $5,500.
Okay.
All right, or an income of $11,000 for a family of four. Man, can you imagine a family of four?
I can't.
Living on $11,000.
No, I can't. No.
Annually, not a month.
No.
That's
you can't fathom it. But they've been going. There's a lot of folks who's been going through this before this became recent statistical news for a lot of people. This has already been going on. So it's the part that it's elevated to this state of consciousness. Now people are getting the numbers put out of them. You can't avoid it.
Exactly. And when you have whole communities that are so decimated in terms of this. Now, you have to think, and now that's where I get back to my military spending. I have to, you guys, because the U.S. is still outspends all the other countries of the world combined. Okay? Just recently a story came out that says that the wealth gap is now even wider between the young and the old. If you're old, excuse me, at least you probably own a house. If you're young, you may never get to.
No, it's
you
hard.
may never get to.
Yeah, and what own means, own can be kind of inflated if it's an equity and a credit paper worthy investment, meaning that you may never own it outright, but it's transferred in the value of what you're owning. And when they launched all those bad credit deals last several years, I said everybody was going around saying, "Oh, I own a house." I said, "Now you actually can't afford that house. The credit score dipped down to allow you to defer and own it on paper. It's totally different when you're cashing out through equity, man."
Well, that's what's so bad about it. What's funny about it is that not everybody thinks it's a problem. For example, New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg.
Oh, boy.
He told the press that he is listening complaints from protesters in the Occupy Wall Street movement, and he happens to think that they're just dumb. Now, let me tell you what Michael Bloomberg, by the way, he has a net worth of nearly $20 billion.
They know
that's why he's mayor. He has a $20 billion.
And he has TV.
Right. He's the 12th richest person in the United States.
Yes.
And he said, "I hear your complaints. Some of them are totally unfounded. It was not the banks that created the mortgage crisis. It was plain and simple Congress who forced everybody to go and give mortgages to people who are on the cusp. So it's Congress' fault." This is according to Mayor Michael Bloomberg.
Mm-hmm.
New York, you realize you have an asshole for a mayor.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, they know that. They adopt.
Okay. Actually, in New York, asshole's an art form.
Yeah, well, they can stick something back at us, too. I ain't going to say his name.
They too. But I'm just saying they will. Arnold?
No.
Who? Ronald Reagan was the governor here, too.
Look,
Ronald Reagan.
Mario, we have a president that is east of the Mississippi. I have to remind you, we've had these conversations. Okay, I'm going to remind you. We talked about Al Sharpton.
Well, Al Sharpton is now the hitman out there to protect the president. Al Sharpton goes around taking on anybody who criticizes the president. Come on, take me on, Al. I just talk about your hair. See, I just make fun of your ass. You don't want to talk about me. See, I'll be up there. Dude, I could take you seriously, but the hair makes it hard. And then you try to talk about my hair. And I say, well, let's get a vote. Your hair versus my hair, Al.
See, Mario, I know.
That's why they won't come on here. They won't come on with me because I'll be...
See, every time, Mario, see, it's a good part about it, though. Everyone we point out, they're going to say, well, we're going to throw up somebody from your side. They can match us.
Well, of course, that's what they've been doing for... In other words, that's why they run the world. It ain't like they stupid. People crack me up with this shit. They run the world. You think they're going to make stupid mistakes? Probably not. That's why I said if something gets leaked, it's not an accident. They wanted it leaked.
Hey, you're right, Mark. Let me ask you something, man. If the record of poor people get like to 60 million, can we pass a law that all the politicians we can indict for aggravated assault?
No, because they run the laws. What they will do is pass a law to build a big ass fence. Big ass electric. If you want to see some armed guards, come out then. I bet your ass will not. Don't get near that fence.
That's it.
Don't get near that Bloomberg fence.
It's
your
over.
Ass will be I'm telling you, they're gonna have a big ass fence for all the other folks who don't have money. Now, going along with this, even though I've been talking about it all along, that RT came out that there's with an article on U.S. military spending since 9/11, calling it shocking. And that's because, I talked about the $639 billion. Well, they're saying there was another $232 billion in supplemental fund.
Oh, it's like the Federal Reserve, right?
$1 trillion, you guys, over $1 trillion for this war. That's why you don't have health care. That's why. You know what? You realize what they could have done for you instead of fighting these wars? But remember, it's going according to plan. When you pay that money, somebody made that money. That's defense money that made somebody rich. I'm sure Michael Bloomberg, it didn't hurt him. I bet you that.
I guess the days are gone when they used to have this rumor, when the past wars. They said, wars create jobs. I guess that doesn't exist anymore, right?
Well, they do create some jobs, except when you overspend to the extent that you take all the money, because that's what bankrupted the Soviet Union.
Right.
But, because the war machinery was hiring.
It outpaces the greed.
Right, but you know what happened?
What?
Automation.
Yes.
And one day, they really didn't need you to work at the factory.
That cycle. Yes.
Yeah, they didn't know.
No,
they don't need you to rivet or paint.
Right.
No, they don't need you to do the little decals on the side of the bombs.
True.
So there was no job for you. And they only need so many people to take out the trash at the factory.
Right.
So there was no job.
No, the job creations within the industry itself that perpetuates the contracts and all that. But unfortunately, at the expense that it is much more greedier with the pockets that the money's being paid to than the people who are getting the jobs themselves.
Exactly. So I want to just hint at looming international crisis right now. As you know, there's a lot of talk going about attacking Iran, whether or not they're building a nuclear plant. There's a lot of talk about attacking them. Again, Moscow is warning against attacking them. Iran has said that they will be most severe with any response. Now, what's so bad about that? They all live right next to each other. If you go off a nuclear bomb, the whole area is gone. You ain't got nothing. The whole area will be nothing. And plus all the oil gone. So that's part of their whole, that's the only reason why they haven't blown them up yet. Also, ongoing stories that all over Africa said the CIA is building drone bases. They talked about that because, Pakistan wants us out. Okay. All right. All right. Just a couple other things that you're going to be hearing about, too, that we'll get further follow-up. I don't know if you guys heard about this supposed Keystone oil pipeline that's supposed to bring, a pipeline that goes all the way from Canada? Where is it? From Canada all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico or something?
I heard talk about it, but no real details.
Yeah, from TransCanada. I'm just trying to make sure where it's running from. But anyway, there's a lot of people who don't want it. Talk about the environmental hazards. You already got leaks from BP.
Right.
It's a $7 billion pipeline that would run from Alberta, Canada, through 6 U.S. states to oil refineries on the Gulf Coast. Right there, wonderful Louisiana, the dump state of the entire nation. I think they have more toxic dumps in Louisiana.
Yeah, I know.
So anyway, keep your eye on that. Now, want to throw this one out too. The hacker group Anonymous said they take on the latest target is the notorious Mexican drug cartel, the Zetas. They said they're going to hack the whole Zetas drug cartel and release names, people. All of that. So the Anonymous group says they are actually going after the drug cartels.
Wow. Wonder if they find that there may be some backing of the cartels that tie them back to the good old US of A.
Well, that's what they're saying. They say that because one of the people who's been warned, it says a guy named Barrett Brown, who's their unofficial spokesperson, he said, and I quote, "I mean, it's a drug cartel. They're violent people, but they're not going to come streaming up the street in downtown Dallas and kill me." Well, I don't know.
Wait a minute. That kind of arrogance?
I don't know. They may kill you.
Wow.
But how many like the idea of the hackers going after the drug cartels?
My famous saying, good luck.
That's an interesting story, you guys.
Yeah. You know what's coming on your Conspiracy Wednesday down the road?
What's that?
Holder.
Oh, Eric Holder.
Oh, you know it's coming.
Because he did told that lie?
Yeah. It's coming.
But they all lie.
Yeah.
Eric Holder got caught in that lie.
Yes, it's coming.
All right. There is one video I wanted to show you. It was from Al Jazeera. RT.com. And it really was about the way we're looking at Libya. Where did I put that, man?
What are you talking about? Your vegetable plate? What?
Oh, yeah, you got to have the vegetable plate.
Yeah, I mean,
Now, I told you guys, for those who want to look at our resources, we use RT.com, France 24, Al Jazeera English, And actually, there's some new ones that we're getting. We tend to go to the BBC sometimes. But again, remember, we don't say that you trust anybody. We say that you go look at all of them and get your own point of view.
Yeah.
Of them.
Well, like I said, man, it's they're bringing firsthand news until they get enough money, and that's what they're going after, to turn around and say it's time to be acquired, and then they move on, and the next one steps up. It's a cycle. It's going to continue, man. You know that.
Well, again, as our final story, we did want to take a look at this piece on the U.S. and Libyan human rights.
Libya's post-Gaddafi world is showing a lurch towards radical Islam, with strict Sharia law and al-Qaeda flags in evidence there. It's barely a week since NATO moved out after the campaign to swap a dictator for democracy. Yet the alliance and US don't seem too concerned about the shape it's taking. Gane Chichigan explains why.
Cheer first, question later. Not so long ago, the U.S. media presented Libyan rebels as freedom-loving folks yearning for democracy. After Gaddafi's killing, the narrative changed.
You talk about this Arab Spring, and many people viewed it here as a move towards democracy. But really, that is not exactly what's going on.
It seems the U.S. media just woke up to the unfolding human rights disaster in the region.
Libya's new rulers are at risk of being accused of the same kind of abuses they fought to overthrow.
An al-Qaeda flag planted on a Libyan courthouse stirred quite some panic. And not just that.
You had the interim leader coming out and saying he hoped it would become an Islamic state, that polygamy was going to be legal again, consistent with Sharia law.
Sharia law to include punishments such as cutting off the hands of thieves, beheading convicted murderers and rapists, stoning to death adulterers.
Sharia law, which is about to be introduced in Libya, is considered to be for the most part incompatible with democratic values, especially when it comes to women's rights. But many experts believe that whatever the new Libyan government's domestic policies, it will not stop the U.S. from making nice with them.
Saudi Arabia, for instance, has the most extreme form of Sharia law. Women are not allowed to drive cars, they're not allowed to vote. The crime for adultery for women is the death penalty in Saudi Arabia. And none of this seems to bother the powers that be in Washington. Why? Because Saudi Arabia does the bidding of the United States.
There you go.
In this oil-rich region.
Saudi Arabia being a dictatorship and not a democratic state, yet America is a big ally and a big supporter of Saudi Arabia. That just shows that we really don't care for working with democracies, or we're working with dictatorships, or we're working with secular governments or religious governments. What we care about is our interests in the region.
Bahrain, another U.S. ally in the region. It hosts America's Fifth Fleet and also lives under Sharia law, and has a questionable human rights record. As for Libya, those in power are there only thanks to NATO, and particularly the United States.
The media here had generally been supportive of the campaign to topple Gaddafi. But now that he's gone, why the sudden concern about human rights in Libya? Maybe out of old habit, so well demonstrated in the run-up to the Iraq War, when the media cheered first and then, when it was too late, when the war was full on, started asking questions. Analysts say human rights in Libya was never a top priority for those in Washington who called the shots and threw their support behind the current Libyan government. I'm Ganesh Chekyan reporting from Washington, RT.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not. I have no. I just go. I think the routine is to get the crazy current one out, and then the next one will step up. And when he gets out of bounds and out of crazy, we rotate him. I think it's a rotation. I don't think there's this great reward at the end. I just think it's ongoing.
And like they did in The Matrix, it's all going according to plan.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's been the good news, the bad news, and the other shit. Everybody, the good news, the bad news, and the other shit. But, dun-dun-dun.